Hi everybody, my name is Mr. Ron. Welcome to today's lesson. Today's lesson is going to be about erasure poetry, which is also known as blackout poetry. An erasure poem or erasure poetry is when a poet finds a piece of text, which is also known as like writing. So finds a piece of text and erases or blacks out large portions or chunks of that text to create an entirely new piece of writing or a poem. So today I'm going to be showing you exactly how to do that. And we're going to be doing that because one, erasure poetry is a really cool type of what's called found poetry. And also we'll be using these poems to create a movement score in the next video. So you're going to need two things to make this process work. The first thing that you're going to need is you're going to need a piece of text. This text can be a letter that maybe you got in the mail that nobody needs anymore. It can also be a writing from a book that like maybe you're gonna throw in the trash. It can also be a poem that's already existing that maybe you just found and you don't want to read anymore. And then the second thing that you need is a marker, preferably a black marker, but it doesn't have to be. And so what you're gonna do, and what I've already done here is I've done some pre-work here and made decisions about the text that I want to keep. And what you're going to do is you're simply going to go through this text and black out the sections of the text that you no longer want to keep. Remember, text is writing in this instance specifically. So, I'm gonna start here and I'm gonna just start to black out all of the parts I don't want. So, the first part of my poem that I'm going to keep is I push. The second thing I'm gonna keep is the word brick, the word to, so I have I push brick to. Then I'm gonna go on to the next chunk here. And I have I push brick to walls. Crossing out. The next thing I kept was howl. So the whole thing reads, and you're gonna wanna go back and just check in with yourself and check in with the things that you are keeping, yes? So I have I push brick to walls. I push brick to walls, yes. Howl in is the next thing I'm keeping. I push brick to walls. Howl in. Next thing I'm keeping is work. I push brick to walls. Howl in work. Next thing I'm keeping is the word melt. I push brick to walls. Howl in work. Melt. Gonna do some big chunks here. So the next thing I'm keeping here is the word hair. So it reads, I push brick to walls, howl in work, melt, hair. Gonna get rid of that chunk there. Moving on. The next word I'm gonna keep is the word mother. And then the last word I'm gonna keep, because we're gonna keep it a little simple for today, is the word watch. and everything else gets blacked out with the marker. So now I've created an entirely new poem that is essentially a found poem that came from this poem, Poison Ivy Nostalgia by Victoria Parker. But now this is a new poem that I haven't titled quite yet. But it reads, I push brick to walls, howl in work, melt hair, mother, watch. All right, everybody, that's all the time that we have for today. I hope that you will continue working on Erasure poems and make sure that you hold on to your Erasure poem from today or maybe another one that you create, as it will relate to the next video lesson that we do, which will be about movement scores. All right, bye y'all.